Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Joan here, and today's video is just an update of what's been going on with me while this whole pandemic is going on. And I wish that since I came back from my travels a few days ago that I was looking forward to developing my film and then being able to share with you guys what I captured along the way needs to be postponed until I can figure out where I can drop my rolls of film to, because I honestly, coming back, I don't know what's available or what is possible. I was in Hawaii, and so being back here in the East Coast, it's much more severe in what's going on, so I don't necessarily know what I can do and what I cannot do. So I will update you when that is all situated. So I just want to tell you my experiences and what I've encountered along the way while I was gone. So going backwards, 2 weeks ago, I was already wearing a mask and stuff, and people weren't taking it as serious yet over here, and that's fine. And I just felt like I was like the only person on the train who was wearing a mask, and I was just preparing for my trip. People are calling people who are on spring break selfish if they're traveling, and I totally get that if you're partying with like a whole mob of people, but for me, I was literally traveling alone or with my one friend, and so that was pretty much it. And I needed to get away. I usually travel all the time, and last year I didn't travel at all, and so I made sure that for my 28th birthday I wanted to travel and get away. And I know that there's exceptions, especially what is going on in the world today. So luckily it didn't hit here yet, in a sense where it wasn't as panic mode like how it is now. So I didn't travel on my birthday because despite my birthday landing on President's Day weekend, I had too many deadlines and things to do. So I told myself, spring break's in 2 weeks. You could wait, Joan. You could be patient and go then. And so I was originally supposed to just go to Hawaii because I have friends that moved over there, and I promised that I would always go there and visit, and at the same time, that's just who I am. When I say something, I always fulfill my duty to do it. And I know they're understanding, like, it didn't have to be now, but it just happened. That was the timing I chose. But then one of my friends, who you might recognize in a few of my videos, she reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to go on a road trip around Arizona, which is another place I've never been to, and it worked out in my schedule that I could do that first and then go to Hawaii. So I didn't really tell people that I was going away because I knew some people were just gonna stay home, and why would you just disappear for a week? I mean, some people do, especially spring break, but some people just stay home. So I packed my bags and wore a mask and went to the airport. And this was the first time, if you don't know, now you know, that when you go to the airport and you bring a film, your film is fine if it's rated ISO 800 and below, if it goes through the X-ray. But for me, I don't ever risk the chance. I always get a hand check for my film, meaning that the TSA officer would use a cotton swab or wipes or whatever to just examine the film to make sure there's no bad things in it. And so it was the first time a TSA officer asked me how many cameras I was bringing, because I bring all my camera gear on my carry-on. I never put it in a check-in luggage because, God forbid, my check-in luggage disappears, my camera disappears as well. And I value my camera gear more than my clothes and stuff. So I told him I brought 6 cameras, and he told me to take them all out and have them go through the x-ray. And I just didn't understand why I could have just left it in my bag. And some people, to each their own, might ask, why am I bringing 6 cameras? But I'm someone who thinks of different scenarios. I have my 35mm, I have my medium format, I have a digital camera if my film goes wrong. I wanted to be adventurous because I was going to Hawaii, that I wanted to bring like a GoPro, so I bought the Osmo Action camera, which failed. For others, I don't know your experience, but I'm returning that camera. It died on me like after the first day. And I have my vlogging camera that I use right now, my G7X. And I don't shoot all of that at the same time, but I bring those cameras always, most of the time. And that's why I have these epic photos that I want to share with you guys, but can't develop. So meanwhile, I'll just share with you guys in the end my photos I took with my digital camera, which I barely use. I just, like I said, have it as an emergency camera. And also there's always the go-to iPhone, but it's just not the same, for me at least. So after that, dealing with removing all my cameras and showing them to everyone who was online, because they were all waiting patiently for me to remove them and pack them back into my bag. That was the only thing that I had to do, plus the hand check. So I suggest, if you're gonna bring camera gear, that you definitely come early and not just come just exact amount of time before your flight. I always know that I'm going to take a while at TSA. And then afterwards, it's fine. I usually am lucky enough to ask a nice person who would carry that gear up to the cabin, because I am definitely not strong enough to put my camera gear in the cabin area above the seats, because it's really heavy. And then we went to Phoenix and we drove around, had a rental car. That was fine. And we just pretty much went around the whole state, going up to Utah and then going back down. And when I tell you that seeing the views look exactly like looking at an Apple product wallpaper, I'm serious. I always thought I would only see the Grand Canyon in a textbook or maybe now on Google, but it was so surreal to see it in person. It's just massive, and you feel like this little particle that just can get covered by rocks. And it was cool to see it during sunrise, sunset, and we stayed at a place that was right on the Grand Canyon Reserve, so it was really, really worth it to do all of that and to do everything else that we did, which I would go more into detail, but I wish I had the photos to show you guys what I captured. And then so afterwards, after Arizona, I flew to Hawaii. My friend went back to New York. And going to Hawaii was different because leaving Jersey, the weather was cold. Going away to Arizona, I was hoping that it would be warmer, but it was just as cold or even colder. And I was not prepared. And then going to Hawaii made up for it, because now I was in like 70 to 80 degree weather. And the time zones were messing me up because Arizona apparently has 2 time zones, and then Hawaii was a 6-hour difference from back home in Jersey. So I was just messed up altogether. Once I got to Hawaii, I just ate and I wanted to sleep and not do anything. And then the rest of the time in Hawaii, I was traveling alone because my friends were working and having other obligations. And so I just captured stuff on film mostly, not even digital at all, besides my phone, from time to time. And I would just be able to talk to a lot of strangers, and funny enough, most of them were from the East Coast, and would bond about talking about photography, and they would be curious about the Yashica and wondering, well, why would I be using that kind of camera still at this day and age? And they were telling me how they appreciated me still doing the craft. And then getting emails from back home that school closures and the classes would be converted to online classes, to now finding out today that everything is going to be like that till the end of the semester, which is a bummer. And I was looking forward to doing my production classes. So now I have no clue. Just trying to stay creative, trying to stay sane. Very, very appreciative that I have my therapist to talk to still, and that I'm just now trying to recover from everything that's been happening, because being back home is like a whole total different world. Everyone is in more panic mode. It seems more lifeless and dead back here in Jersey compared to being in Hawaii. People weren't as freaking out in a sense. Yeah, there was no hand sanitizer anymore. People ran out of toilet paper, but people were still outside, at least doing stuff. But here it just seems so lifeless, like nothing is going on, or else probably you're just going to get pulled aside that you need to go home. So adjusting to all of that, I'm catching up with deadlines with work and school, and trying to figure out how I can develop my film, because I don't have chemicals, and if I did, I would develop at home. And at the same time, I don't know. I hope you guys are all staying safe. I don't think I need to be repetitive with telling people that they need to wash their hands, because they should obviously been doing that since the beginning, and that's common sense. And I just hope that everyone still figures out a way to keep making stuff, and that everyone should help each other and not be just to themselves. I'm someone who has an old soul in a sense that I appreciate people talking on the phone or calling each other and finding ways, maybe even, I don't know, writing a letter might be not the option, but still writing an email. But just it's a time to be together, in a sense of finding ways to be together without being physically together. And I don't know. I just hope that this will just all calm down earlier than later. And everyone's saying that this is something that they never experienced before, and I'm hearing this from a lot of people who are way older than me. And for me, I'm just here trying to keep myself sane, because I know myself and I know I could get into a dark place really fast. And a part of me wanted to still stay back in Hawaii or somewhere else that's not home. But I knew a part of me also wanted to be back home because my family is here, and I am also concerned, and I know they are concerned, and it would be wrong of me to just be living my life and not being aware of their feelings and their emotions. So hope you guys are staying safe and healthy, and don't do anything reckless. Okay. Bye.
feel the